a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Alphabet Incorporated. Alphabet Incorporated is an American multinational conglomerate headquartered in Mountain View, California. It was created through a corporate restructuring of Google on October 2, 2015 and became the parent company of Google and several former Google subsidiaries. The two founders of Google assumed executive roles in the new company, with Larry Page serving as CEO and Sergey Brin as president. It has over 80,110 employees. Alphabet's portfolio encompasses several industries, including technology, life sciences, investment capital, and research. Some of its subsidiaries include Google, Calico, Chronicle, GV, Capital, Verily, Waymo, X, and Google Fiber. Some of the subsidiaries of Alphabet have altered their names since leaving Google and becoming part of the new parent company, Google Ventures becoming GV, Google Life Sciences becoming Verily and Google X becoming just X. Following the restructuring, Page became CEO of Alphabet and Sundar Pichai took his position as CEO of Google. Shares of Google's stock have been converted into Alphabet stock, which trade under Google's former ticker symbols of Goog and Google. The establishment of Alphabet was prompted by a desire to make the core Google Internet Services business cleaner and more accountable, while allowing greater autonomy to group companies that operate in businesses other than Internet services. History. On August 10, 2015, Google Incorporated announced plans to create a new public holding company, Alphabet Incorporated. Google CEO Larry Page made this announcement in a blog post on Google's official blog. Alphabet will be created to restructure Google by moving subsidiaries from Google to Alphabet, narrowing Google's scope. The company would consist of Google as well as other businesses including X, Capital, and GV. Sundar Pichai, product chief, became the new CEO of Google, replacing Larry Page. In his announcement, Page described the planned holding company as follows, as well as explaining the origin of the company's name. Page says the motivation behind the reorganization is to make Google cleaner and more accountable. He also said he wanted to improve the transparency and oversight of what we're doing, and to allow greater control of unrelated companies. On February 1, 2016, Alphabet Incorporated surpassed Apple to become the world's most valuable publicly traded company until February 3, 2016, when Apple surged back over Alphabet to retake the position. Experts cited Apple's lack of innovation as well as increasing Chinese competition as reasons for the poor performance. Website. Alphabet has chosen the domain abc.xyz with the .xyz top-level domain, which was introduced in 2014. It does not own the domain alphabet.com, which is owned by a fleet management division of BMW. BMW has said that it is necessary to examine the legal trademark implications of the proposals. Additionally, it does not own the domain abc.com, which is the promoted domain of the Disney-owned American Broadcasting Company. The website features an Easter egg in the paragraph where Larry Page writes, "Sergey and I are seriously in the business of starting new things." Alphabet will also include our X Lab, which incubates new efforts like Wing, our drone delivery effort. We are also stoked about growing our investment arms, ventures and capital, as part of this new structure. The period after drone delivery effort is a hyperlink to Huli.xyz, a reference to the television series Silicon Valley. Structure. Alphabet's largest subsidiary is Google, other subsidiaries being Calico, Chronicle, Dandelion, DeepMind, GV, Capital, X, Google Fiber, Jigsaw, Sidewalk Labs, Verily, and Waymo. As of September 1, 2017, their equity are held by a subsidiary known as 26 Holdings Incorporated, so that they can be valued and legally separated from Google. At the same time, it was announced that Google will be reorganized as a limited liability company, Google LLC. While many companies or divisions formerly a part of Google became subsidiaries of Alphabet, Google remains the umbrella company for Alphabet's internet-related businesses. These include many of the most widely used products and services long associated with Google, such as the Android mobile operating system, YouTube, LLC, and Google Search, which remain direct components of Google. Proposed growth. Eric Schmidt said at an Internet Association event that there may eventually be more than 26 Alphabet subsidiaries. He also said that he was currently meeting with the CEOs of the current and proposed Alphabet subsidiaries. He said, "You'll see a lot coming." Restructuring process. Google Incorporated was restructured as a subsidiary directly owned by Alphabet. The roles of these two companies, one as the owner and the other as the subsidiary, was then reversed in a two-step switch. First, a dummy subsidiary of Alphabet was created. Then Google merged with that dummy subsidiary while converting Google stock to Alphabet stock. Under Delaware law, a holding company reorganization such as this can be done without a vote of shareholders, as this reorganization was. The restructuring process was completed on October 2, 2015. Alphabet retains Google Incorporated.'s stock price history and continues to trade under Google Incorporated.'s former ticker symbols, GOOG and Google. Both classes of stock are components of major stock market indices such as the S&P 500 and Nasdaq 100. Lawsuit. Alphabet Incorporated sued Uber over technology similar to Alphabet's proprietary self-driving car technology. Alphabet's autonomous vehicle technology has been under development for a decade by Alphabet's Waymo. The proprietary technology is related to 14,000 documents believed to have been downloaded and stolen by a former Waymo engineer, subsequently employed by Uber. The lawsuit was settled in February 2018, with Uber agreeing not to use the self-driving technology in dispute and also agreed to provide Waymo with an equity stake of 0.34%, equating to around $245 million at the firm's early 2018 value. Investments. In January 2017, Alphabet Incorporated led a Series B round of $15 million along with Sequoia India in education startup QMath. In October 2017, Alphabet Incorporated led a $1 billion round in Lyft. In November 2017, Alphabet Incorporated led a Series A round of $70 million along with Andreessen Horowitz and 20th Century Fox in music startup United Masters, founded by Steve Stout. Acquisitions. On January 13, 2018, Alphabet Incorporated acquired smartphone technology startup Redux, which specialized in turning smartphone screens into speakers. Spectators claimed that the technology would somehow be integrated into Google's smartphone Pixel. An analysis of the company's investments in 2017 suggested that it was the most active investor in that period, outdoing the capital arm of Intel, and also its own best customer. Alphabet Incorporated acquired 7 of its own capital-backed startups in the 2017 financial year, with Cisco second, having acquired 6 of the company's previous investments. Flatiron Health, a startup founded by 2 former Google employees and backed by Alphabet Incorporated, announced that it was to be acquired by health conglomerate Hoffmann La Roche for $1.8 billion. The company provides electronic medical records and analysis to identify improved treatments for oncology patients. Brought to you by Wikividi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?